Welcome to the SBC Talk Show. I'm here with Ishan Parikh and Isaac Zimmerman. I'm Ethan George, and today we're going to be talking about who the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL are right now going into this 2024 season. Ishan, I'm going to let you go first with who you got at number 5 in this quarterback ranking.
All right, number 5, I got C.J. Stroud. I think he's honestly one of the best rookies we've ever seen, and he's playing as a rookie like he's been in the league for 5+ years. He won a playoff game, and the only thing that honestly separates the other players from him is the fact that he is a rookie still, and we don't know if he'll get into like a sophomore slump potentially.
Yeah, kind of as you hinted at right there is a big gap between this top 4 and that number 5 spot. You're honestly rolling a 4-sided dice for who you're going to put here, but I've got the winner, Brock Purdy. He's a game manager. He may not have the raw talent of a C.J. Stroud or a Justin Herbert, but he is a winner. He's not the leader of that offense at San Francisco, but he makes everything come together there. He just led them to a Super Bowl. They weren't able to get it done, but I feel like he's got a real chance at it this year, obviously playing on the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Ishan on that one. I think it's C.J. Stroud. Just the way that he led that Texans offense, and especially coming off of a very poor few seasons for Houston. He led them to the second round of the playoffs, dominating in the wild card against the Browns, and I do not think that that's it for him. I think he's going to continue to be great, and I think that with his receivers that he has, he might get the Texans, especially this year, close to the AFC Championship.
Ishan, moving on to number 4. Will you give us your number 4 pick?
At number 4, I got Joe Burrow. Honestly, the fact that the Bengals didn't make the playoffs just show how dependent the Bengals are as a team for Joe Burrow. You can argue that, sure, he had the greatest receiving core in the league, but Joe Burrow is still out here delivering and honestly carrying this team despite having a bad O-line still.
Yeah, at number 4, I'm going to have to go with Josh Allen. It was a down year for the Bills, and especially Josh Allen. Obviously, he's still has an absolute cannon of an arm. He's a decent runner, but the interceptions were up last year. Stephon Diggs obviously wasn't putting up that same kind of production for him, and that definitely resulted in a loss of production for Josh Allen. He's still up here in the top 5. He has a lot of raw talent, and I think it will not be a problem at all for him to bounce back this year.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Ishan again. I think you could go either way with Allen or Burrow, but I think just because of Burrow's injuries, it's really hard to put him any higher or in the top 3. I think that he's a great quarterback, but if he cannot stay healthy, then he has no business being in the top 3.
Ishan, moving on to number 3. Will you give us your pick for 3rd?
I got Lamar Jackson. Sure, he won MVP, but I'm going to be honest, it should have gone to CMC. And the only thing that separates Lamar from 2 and 1 for me is that Lamar is unable to perform in the playoffs when it matters most, but he can still get into that takeover mentality, especially in the regular season. But I haven't seen that yet in the postseason. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, at number 3, y'all have mentioned him before. It's Joe Burrow. Obviously, this Bengals team is super dependent on Joe Burrow. He brings a ton of talent to the Bengals. Obviously, he's got that chemistry going back into college with Jamar Chase. That is one of the best quarterback-receiver duos in the NFL. I think he is poised for a bounce-back year after that big injury.
Yeah, number 3, I'm going to have to go with Josh Allen. His picks have really just been killing the Bills and his chance at being the top 2. I think that the way that he has had about the same amount of picks as Aaron Rodgers has since 2017. So I'm going to go with Josh Allen at number 3.
Looks like we've got a caller. It's going to be Ethan from Texas. Ethan, what do you got?
Is Joe Burrow really the number 1 quarterback in the NFL?
I mean, I'm going to start this one off. I think if Joe Burrow can have a if he can have a bounce back year, I would definitely believe you. But just coming off of that really big injury, it's tough to tell if Joe Burrow, right now he's got a lot of talent, but he didn't put up much of a big stat line last year. I've still got a couple guys ahead of him right now. But it's a hot take, and it definitely could be something that actually happens sometime down the road.
I think Joe Burrow is not even close to number 1. I think number 1 is by a landslide. It's Mahomes. And Joe Burrow, he was hurt last year, so I honestly can't put anyone who has been hurt last year at number 1 for like a substantial amount of time. So I think that's probably mainly the reason. Also, even when he was healthy, he wasn't even on Mahomes' level.
Yeah, I do agree that you cannot put him at number 1. You can make an argument for him at number 2, but overall with his injuries, I do not think he can be top 3. I think he's number 4.
Yeah, let's go. Let's speed it up a little bit. Number 2. Okay, yeah. So at number 2, I've got Lamar Jackson. He just had a huge MVP season. Obviously he's a great runner, solid enough passer, and he really gets it done for the Ravens.
Yeah, I think it's Lamar Jackson too. Coming off of a great season, winning MVP is second. And I think that with his legs, he can do it both on the ground and in the air. I think that he's number 2.
And I think I say for everyone, our number 1 is Patrick Mahomes. He won the Super Bowl, and he's clearly the best quarterback. He was a 2-time MVP so far, 3-time Super Bowl champion. He honestly might go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live.
Yeah, Ishan speaks for all of us right there. And before you go, please be sure to check out Major League Wiffle Ball. That's our sponsor. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They're going on a big tour this summer. Be sure to tune into all their videos.